Hey guys, Terence here from Neptune Systems. A little different today. We're with Let's Talk Reef, of course, and not in the studio like normal. So a little bit different action going on here today with being in a new office, and we've got some new space, and we've got everything taken down from the from our studio and my office, and I'm just coming back from Reef-A-Palooza. So I thought we'd do a quick Q&A session here. Not a whole lot. Next week we'll have a full episode of Let's Talk Reef, but I didn't want to leave you guys hanging. I know some of you guys want to tune in every other Tuesday and you're expecting something, so I wanted to give it to you here. So first of all, I wanted to say that we had a great weekend last weekend with Reef-A-Palooza. It was an amazing event. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people came out to that event. Really cool. We got to meet lots of you guys out there. Really was such a fun time to see all of the control freaks out there and have them all ask me the same question over and over and over again, and we all know what that question was. I'm running directly from my computer today, so it's a little different because my main computer that I use for Let's Talk Reef is in the package of the crate, because if any of you guys tuned in over the weekend, I was doing live streams from the booth. We had 4 great interviews there. If you haven't seen them yet, please go out, take a look at them. We had a great interview with Dave Hammontree from Reef to Reef. We had another great interview from Ryan at Bulk Reef Supply. We had Larry from LRS Foods in the booth, and we had one other person, and I'm going to get in trouble because I'm going to forget who it was that was sitting there with me, but it'll come to me. Anyway, we had some great guests in the booth there for a Let's Talk Reef live from Reef-A-Palooza. And we had, we were in a little lounge there. We had our bean bags, and it was quite fun. But like I said, right now I'm in my new office. We expanded out our square footage by 50% at Neptune Systems, and that meant some new digs for me. So I'm busy moving a bunch of stuff today, and also we're moving the little studio that I had for all of our Let's Talk Reef stuff. We have a new one for that as well, and I might be able to actually carry my computer over there and give you guys a little sneak peek into some of the new space without revealing too much to you guys. But thank you guys for joining me, and for sure, if you guys have any questions whatsoever out on YouTube, out on Facebook, please push them through. We do give Let's Talk Reef every other week, and try to make it happen every time. Paul is not with us today either. Paul is actually out on vacation, so there won't be a Tech Corner with Paul today. Oh, I know. No funky music either from Paul. Hopefully, though, I can answer some of your questions and see whether or not, I hold up as far as giving you answers. I've got my screen share on the ready if I need to show you guys something. So go ahead and think up some good questions for me. In the meantime, I want to give you guys a little peek at the booth that we had at Reef-A-Palooza. Here we are. I don't know who those 2 control freaks are there in the booth. I think I might have still had the filter on the lens. But that's our booth at Reef-A-Palooza. We had so many people come out for this event and come to the booth. We were showing off, obviously, the Trident. We were showing off the core, showing off a gigantic aquarium that we had there that Mad Reefer from Florida came and helped us set up and put some great corals and fish. We had gem tangs in there. We had some incredible wrasses, and we had, get this, 170 clownfish in this tank. It was a 230-gallon tank, I believe, so there's plenty of room for them to swim around, and it was a great event. Here's a picture of that tank. You can also see out on the Aficionado channel, you can see he's got some video of this tank on one of his latest Reef-A-Palooza updates. Got some questions rolling in. That's good. Definitely want you guys to ask me some questions. There are obviously some Trident questions. The most common question that we got at Reef-A-Palooza, I'm sure you guys can figure out what that was. Let me see. That's what you do when you use your own computer instead of the one that you use for for Let's Talk Reef. Normally, you don't turn your do not disturb on. Okay, now I won't be disturbed anymore. All right, so the most common question that we got at Reef-A-Palooza, I'm sure you guys can guess, is when is the Trident coming? Scott Adams is on the stream right now, and he's asking, can we get a Trident update? I had lots of people call me, and every one of them basically asked me, everyone came up to the booth, and they basically said, when is Trident coming out? Every single one of them, I said soon. And they said, but what does soon mean? I said, very soon. And they said, but what does that mean? Is it months? Is it days? And I said, very soon. So it is imminent. It is very soon. We definitely have it happening. I can give you guys another little sneak peek here. This may get you a little bit excited. This is one section of our testing area. So you can see these things, these unicorns are reproducing, and they are alive and well and being tested and being prepared. So we are in the final stretches here. We're doing tons of software, little tweaks and little updates to make it as best we can. Interesting fact, I spoke to one of our NSI members at the show by the name of Ty from Southern Florida. Some of you guys may know Ty. And Ty came by and he said, I got the thing and I went to set it up, and I was all ready to just kind of settle in and have a whole experience. He's like, I was done in like 5 minutes. So that's what we're going for, with the Trident. So definitely want it to be, quick and painless, and get you guys set up and start testing your tanks. Question from Tim Allen. I'm getting new internet tomorrow. Do I need to do anything to my Apex 2016, or can I just plug it into my new modem? If you're going with Ethernet, it's probably just a simple plug and play. If you are running Wi-Fi, you'll need to make sure that it has the same SSID and password, or you will have to go in and tweak that on your Apex. Definitely something that you can do. Another question. Good. Keep the questions coming, guys, because that's what I want to do on today's episode, is try to answer as many questions as I can for you guys. What food, this is Jake Speed said, what food can I use with a Neptune auto feeder? Can I use powdered food for corals? Very good question. Number one, pellet food seems to work better than flake food. Pellet food that's a couple millimeters across works really good. Our food that we have is called crossover diet, and it's called that because it's fish food, and then it's coated with a powdered food that works great for feeding corals as well as the fish. When it hits the water, it releases. Now, as far as your own coral food, I do know people who go ahead and toss their coral food. Oh, looks like we got some emergency crews. I do know people who toss their coral food, whether it be like reef-roids or maybe one of the other foods that are out there, with their pellet food so that it gets on the pellet food. But you can't just put the powdered food in there. That probably won't work too well. It'll cake, and you might even get too much to come out of there. Thank you, Jason. Jason said Neptune food is amazing. Yeah, the food is really good. It's got a lot of the color enhancers in it. It's got salmon, I believe it's salmon oil on there for making the powdered food stick to it. So it works really, really well. Kevin Taylor's asking, when is the matching Apex 2016 energy bar out in the UK? I don't exactly know what that means, but I know you guys are wanting to get an update to your energy bar. I've got no news that I can share with you here. Until we announce anything officially, I can't really say anything at all. The one that you're currently using is the current one, and it'll at least be that way, of course, until we come out with something new. Let's see here. When are we going to get more than 3 columns or tabs on Fusion to make it control easier for us? Control freaks, to make it work easier for us control freaks. I know we're always constantly trying to update and make the interface better and easier for you guys. I will say one thing for those of you who are on high-res screens, especially if you're putting this on your TV or you're putting it on a very big screen. One of the things you can do is hit the zoom on that. Let me show you. Let's see if I can get this to work. There we go. So if you take a look at this, you can see how I have it and it fills the screen. The normal would be, be down like this, right? But if you zoom it in, you now can have it fill the screen and it gets nice and big, especially on those big TVs. So when I do the trade shows like Reef-A-Palooza, that's exactly what I do. I zoom it all the way in. So that is something that you can try. Mel K said, Trident will work with dose. Absolutely, the Trident will work with the dose. We're finishing up the final tweaks on a task to make it super simple for you to set in a parameter, one of any of the three, alkalinity, calcium, or magnesium, and then have it auto dose that additive based on the results from your Trident. Now don't worry, I know you guys are probably freaking out, some of you saying, I don't want this thing to kill my tank. We've got safeguards built in, so it won't dose any more than a percentage of what your normal dose is without going back to your normal dose and then letting you know, hey, you probably need to up your regular dose. That way it just doesn't keep running away and going off the charts with dosing and never catching up. Okay, let's see here. What camera are you using on the Apex? Okay, yeah, I'm actually using the Nest camera, and there is a tweak in the upcoming to be released version of Apex Fusion that should make using the Nest camera, and specifically only the Nest camera, super easy to use with just a minimal amount of work, as opposed to using some other generic camera or other manufacturer's camera where you have to use port forwarding and go through other problems. It's not released yet, but stay tuned for that. I know it's not the most economical one, but you can get them, and obviously you can have multiple ones on your dashboard. Okay, let's see here. Extension cable for the waves. I believe we do have one extension cable for the waves. I believe there is a 10-foot extension. I can't remember the exact amount, but Jason was asking, I can't even read. Somebody was asking if there was an extension cable for it. The screen keeps rolling up, and so I lose them. Somebody else, Jamie Franks, asked, can we get salinity to read specific gravity on the dashboard? We probably could do that, but it wouldn't be super accurate for a number of reasons. The scientific community out there uses parts per thousand, or PSU, practical salinity units, for a reason. It's probably much better to train your mind into using the parts per thousand. Let's see here. Yes, somebody else saw you were using a Nest Cam at RAP. Any chance to get that going soon? Let's see here. Okay, we've got a lot of people joining in. I love this. We've got a big stream going today. I love that. Somebody asked about Vincent. Said Vincent is one of our guys here on the West Coast who goes out and visits the stores and is our sales guy for the Western United States. Said he's an MVP. Can we have him on the stream? Well, if Vincent's out there and Vincent rings me up on Skype, which I got my Skype on, I could bring Vincent into this stream. So Vincent, if you're out there watching and you want to come on the stream for some reason or another, I could have you join in here. Let's see. What else? Okay, here's a good question from Javier Cortez. Javier says, is there any way I can get the Neptune doser to do a water change from the first floor to the second? I have a 50-gallon water container in the basement. My tank upstairs sounds crazy, but anything can be possible. You're absolutely right. Best thing to do is to put a dose down there with your water, run an Aquabus cable down there to it. We have a task available. I'll show you actually that task right now. There is a task available for automatic water change. Let's go up here. We go to automatic water change and dose automatic water change right here. You click that. Go ahead and set it up with your containers like this, or your drain. Once you do that, you pick the dose that you want to use. Mine already have names because I'm dosing with them, but I'm not going to reprogram them, but I can take you through it. I'm dosing AquaPower with that one, as you can see. But you would do that, and then you go ahead and just tell it how many gallons you want to change out every day, and then it'll go ahead and set that up for you to go ahead and change those out. So it's really simple to do. And if you want to do automatic water changes, I think we couldn't have made it any simpler for you guys. Okay, let's see. Is there another question in here? I hope that answered your question, Javier. It's definitely, and if you do a lot of water, if you want to change a ton of water, the dose will be a little bit louder, but you can have it only change the water during the hours that you're not at home, too. So you don't even have to worry about hearing it. Clint, thanks for providing that link out there so that somebody can get that extension cable. Let's see, other question. Oh, here's an interesting question. Will version 2 of the Trident be probes rather than reagent refills? I don't exactly know where that's coming from, but one good thing to understand is there are no really good probes for specific elements, okay? They just are not made for running in situ, and even if you had them, they require frequent calibration, they're costly, and they do have to be replaced over time. So it's our feeling that the Trident with titration is the best way to go because the reagents really are not that expensive. In fact, the reagents cost less than 10 cents a test, which is far cheaper than any other test out there, any other even manual titration water test that's out there. And the Trident is doing it for you ongoing. You never have to touch another test kit for those three items: alkalinity, calcium, and magnesium. Let's see here. Good feedback there, Clint. Please add the ability to trigger an alarm when a device attached to the WXM goes missing. We'll definitely pass that one on to the engineering team. Jason asks, Terence, other than alk, calcium, and Nopox, do you dose anything else? My second dose has one head not doing anything. Actually, I do a mix of running a calcium reactor and the Trident system. If I were going to have something else in addition to my 2-part or my 3-part, I would probably dose AquaPower. It is definitely something that I've found to really help out the coloration in my corals, and I know a lot of other people have too. Okay. Somebody else dosed fuel, which is, I believe that's by Seachem. I believe that's their amino acid type product. How long can an Aquabus cable be? I think we touched on that in a previous live stream. You actually can go, we have up to 30-foot cables, but you can go from point to point up to about 60 or 70 feet with an energy bar on the other end of that point. Nathan West asks, what's the best cable option for a 60 to 65-foot run and wanting to run a cable for a dose in the garage? We do have, like I said, a 30-foot male-to-male. You could do that with a 30-foot male-to-female, connect them together, and that should get you all the way there. Okay. Can I hook up my ice cap gyre to 3K to my Apex? I believe that there's a box out there that'll allow you to hook that up to the 0 to 10 port. Those are not available on the Apex EL, however, so if you have the Apex EL and wanted to connect a 0 to 10 device, you'd have to use the VDM module. Speaking of probes, is it normal for a pH probe to have an air bubble in it? Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, let's see here. I'm glad we're getting all these questions. It's great. Let's see. Let's see. Any other questions? Can we make the feed A button bigger? I have to play darts every day. That's a funny one. It's from Rito Kramer. Somebody else for Aquabus use a 60-foot extension cord. You absolutely could do that. 60-foot Aquabus cables are available from third parties. Trying to see if there is another good question here. As I said, we did get quite a bit of questions of when the Trident is going to come out. And some of the feature sets on it. The automatic dosing and hooking it up to the dose is really, really clever. But some of the things too, because the data is made available to you, some of our NSI members like myself are already using that data to try to do auto tweaking to their calcium reactor. So I'm working with it kind of in advanced mode to try to pick one of 3 different pH ranges depending on the alkalinity, the last alkalinity reading that I got from my Trident. I think there's going to be a lot of options out there. I think a very popular option for people will be to be running the dose along with their calcium reactor, or even running a third-party doser as well. It's entirely possible to do the top-off kind of your alkalinity. Not your regular top-off water, maybe the wrong word to use, but think of it this way. You set your calcium reactor and it just isn't quite enough, and it just your tank has more and more demand. You can just keep cranking up, or have the apex with the dose keep cranking up the alkalinity from an alkalinity supplement as necessary, and then maybe every month or 2 you turn up your calcium reactor a little bit again and start back over. So kind of an auto tune for your calcium reactor that way as well. Somebody asked the best way to hook up 4 gyres to my apex. Again, I believe that there are some third-party devices out there that allow you to control the speed of the gyres through 0 to 10, and there are 4 0 to 10 ports. As long as they have some sort of splitter, I guess you could do it that way. Looks like hot ashes. Somebody, don't forget, I want to send you a stick. Can you send me a sticker? So that's interesting. Rito asked if he could get Sonos to control Sonos on his Apex. One of the things that's going to be really cool is obviously having Alexa and getting your, look, Alexa's going to talk to me now across the room for me, to get your alkalinity reading just from across the room. That's pretty cool. Thanks, Jeff. He says, I found your site because I bought the Apex EL. It's going to be here tomorrow. I can't wait to use it. Thank you for being a customer. And pretty soon you're going to be an addicted control freak, for sure. So definitely, I guess we got some people that didn't get labels. So we'll have to take care of that. Let's see, any other questions? Maybe I'll take you guys just for a little sneak peek around here. Before we move on, we've been going here about 23. I'm going to take us up to about 30 to 35 minutes today and then cut it off. So get your questions in. Let's see, one more question, and then I'm going to see if I can't pick this thing up and walk it around. Question, calibration of the Trident. Yes, the Trident will come with a calibration solution. You will want to wait a couple of days for it to kind of break in on your tank before you run that calibration solution. It does come factory calibrated, but it's best to wait a couple days to run it. Calibration solutions are very tricky, especially for things with alkalinity. As you can imagine, the CO2 in the air, once it reacts with your water, your alkalinity changes. So if we create a standard and then seal it tight, the moment you crack that standard, it's starting to change. So a standard that we're going to be giving with the Trident is meant to be used that one time, and we don't want people, the moment they get it, as they're bleeding air out of the lines and starting to get a couple of readings of the tank, to use that calibration right away. We want to wait a little bit of time and then run the calibration, because it's a one-shot kind of thing once you open it. Any new 24B accessories? I'm assuming these are for the DC-24s. We're always working on stuff, so there might be something on the horizon, but of course, can't talk about it. Coral Tank asked if there's a Red Sea LED light control coming. Not that I know of. They haven't pinged us for IOTA control. It's certainly a possibility if they want to implement it. We can certainly get them the API, and they can choose to have that implemented. Wellington Adams asked, any update on the Apex controlling the new Kessels? I did speak to the Kessel folks in the last 2 trade shows. We did Aquashella and then Reef-A-Palooza, and I saw Dave there at both of those events. He says that they have it. They're working on their Wi-Fi dongle, and hopefully they're going to have it implemented when they release their Wi-Fi dongle, which won't be too far off in the future. But they're not committing to any date, just like we didn't with with the Trident. DJ's Reef in all caps. I guess he's very serious about this. He's saying accuracy of the Trident! Exclamation, exclamation, question, question, question. The accuracy of the Trident is going to come about by doing calibration with the calibration standard. The precision of the Trident has been stated a number of times, I've spoken about this also. Comparing the Trident results to your manual tests that you get. Your manual tests work fine. You are the person in control along with that test to the precision, but it is not by any means a standard by which to check things. You wouldn't check your Salifert test against your Red Sea and to see whether or not the Red Sea is correct. You'd get two different answers and you wouldn't know which one is correct. So the best way to tell if something is accurate is to test it against a standard. Okay, let me see if I can make this work. I'm going to pull off the other screen there correctly. We'll come back to me. Oh no. And I'm back. Whew. Okay, that was weird. All right, let me see if I can make this work somehow or another. Oh, I'm back on the other camera. That's why. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Okay. Let's see if I can walk this computer around. All right. So, behind me, there is the office. So, new office and the beautiful California sunshine outside. So let's walk in and see if we can see the new filming room here. Let's see if the door's unlocked. Okay. It's not very exciting, I have to warn you guys, because it's just a room, really. This is the new filming room. Yay! So that little window there is to the new production area. And this wall right here, this exciting white wall here, this is where we're going to end up having the Let's Talk Reef studio is going to be right there, in that corner right there, probably next week. So I've got soundproofing to do in this room a little bit, set up the lights, set up all the stuff. Should be pretty cool next week, we hope. And, may make another episode next week for you guys. Let's see, any other questions? Oh, there's nothing else going on here really, so just so you know, that's production area back there. I wish I could take you back there and show you what's what, but I can't. It's top secret. So maybe another day when I clear everything out that we can take you back into the production area, but for now, that's it. Oh man, look at this. It says, swear if you walk by a bunch of Trident in boxes, yeah. What's in the production lab? Wouldn't you like to know? All right, let's see if I can put this other camera back up here because it gets a little bit better picture. We will change it back up here, camera. And okay, turn you back on. Man, tell you, it's crazy to try to get all this stuff to work and keep track of it all and find all the different buttons when you go from one screen to two screens. Anyway, I'm going to answer a couple more of your questions here and then we're going to shut it down. Sorry it's so informal today, guys, but I hope you're enjoying the stream nonetheless. Let's see, Billy D says, I have top secret clearance. Okay. Don't know exactly what that's going to do for you here. Any smaller wave pumps? Well, we haven't announced anything. Oh, I don't know. You guys know what this logo is? I was given a little plug here for you guys. If the first person to tell me whose logo that is going to get some sort of swag. How about that? So I got a little shout out there for a friend of mine. Hey Terence, Apex should come and do a live stream from the Philippines. Oh man, wouldn't I love to come diving there, for sure. Yeah, Rosano, we're not going to check out the equipment room. You guys would like to, but we're not. Let's see if we got one more question here. Yeah, I've got a green screen, Tom. So one of these days I'll hook it up and we'll do some fun stuff on the green screen. Okay. The mic on the laptop sounds better. Okay. Let's see. Any other questions? Maybe not. We're going to shut it down if that's the case. You guys don't have any other questions, and oh man, Greg Carroll's in the house. Okay. Well, all right, guys. Well, next week, next Tuesday, come back for Let's Talk Reef again. Looks like Nathan West. Oh, two fishies. Nope, wrong answer. Mermaids Reef said R2R. I guess that's